Lastly, with Booleans, let's talk about a concept of Truthy and Falsy. In other words, not necessarily having a direct correlation to true or false, or yes or no. However, Python will interpret these as true or false. So, some common values that are falsy are 0 or empty data types. Some common truthy values are non-zero numbers and data types that contain one or more value. And this comes into play in Python a lot. We'll see later on, for example, with loops and with if statements. Booleans are a big part of those because they rely on evaluations of true or false. So these falsy and truthy values really come into play there. Let's take a look at some examples. Starting over here on the left, if we assign x to the value of 5, and we use this nifty bool method to evaluate x, that is true. That is because it is a non-zero number. 5 is a non-zero number. So Python sees that as true if it needs to evaluate it in a Boolean case, which, as I said, there are some instances where that does come into play, and we'll see those later. Y is assigned 0. Now let's evaluate that as a Boolean. Y, that is false because y is 0, and that is a falsy value. Z is assigned -1. That is true. The Boolean result of that is true because it is not 0. So even negative numbers result in true. Data types that contain one or more values. So here we have a list. We'll talk about these later in the course. This is an empty list, and I'm not showing that here in the screenshot. I apologize for that, but it's an empty list, and it evaluates to false. And you can envision that in your head as if these numbers are missing, and my list is just assigned to open bracket, close bracket. Now, if we actually have some values in my list, 1, 2, and 3, and then evaluate that as a Boolean, that results in true. Same thing with a string. If we have an empty string, the Boolean result of that is false. If it contains anything, then the Boolean result of that is true. So I wanted you to be aware of truthy and falsy values and prep you for what is to come in the course, and it's a very essential concept in Python.